Okay, so this game is going to be, like I said, a solo queue match with, it's going to be in the perspective of Bigfatjiji, an American player on Team CLG. And on his team, I am familiar with Booz and Bruiseleet. I know that Bruiseleet was big in Season 1. He played a lot of Urgot. I believe he actually got to rank 1 for a little while playing Urgot. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's that he did. So this game he's going to be playing Jungle Trundle, which is one of those champions you don't see in the jungle as much. But I think he's a little bit underrated. Trundle's actually a very strong champion. He tends to do very well in the late game. Very hard to deal with as he just gets very tanky. And on the other team, mid lane, they have a Cassiopeia. So right now, I feel that Cassiopeia is probably, I'd say, one of the top picks of champions. Morgana and Cassiopeia, I'd say, are probably two of the best AP carries in the game right now. Cassiopeia does take a little bit more skill to play, but if you do play her very well, like at a higher level, you'll be able to completely demolish kids. And even if you don't play her that well, she's still very strong. But there is definitely a defining point of like, this is a good Cassiopeia and this is a great Cassiopeia. So I think that's one interesting thing about that champion. Of course, they do have Lee Sin, so there's going to be some strong ganks coming in for Purple Team. And once again, another Twitch. So we've been seeing a lot of Twitches in high-level play lately. They really do favor that ability to be very sneaky and just pop out anywhere on the map and try and get the early game advantage. A lot of times, League of Legends is all about that snowball gameplay where you're able to get ahead very quickly. And Twitch is one of those champions that helps you snowball the game very quickly into their favor. In this particular case, he's actually not going to be playing Jungle Twitch, but it looks like he's going to be playing more of a roam Twitch with Corki, 2-8 actually playing Corki down on the bottom lane. You may remember I did a commentary a while back of 2-8 and he played Lux. He's one of those guys who generally plays champions as more of a he likes to play solo, definitely likes to play solo, so he'll be playing probably solo top Corki, of course, with the Cassiopeia in the middle lane. Normally I've seen 2-8 in the mid lane. That's where he always likes to go, and he plays he's played like Maokai mid to top, and he played a lot of Karma mid. He plays Lux, you know, all those champions that you think are kind of odd and you don't see very often. So overall, I think it's pretty exciting to watch, and I believe that, well, it should be a good match. You don't always see this type of setup where we have you know, several different ADs in the same game. So I think actually before I said that we may see a roaming Twitch, but once I looked at it again, I realized it's actually going to be an AD bottom Twitch with Sona, and yeah, of course, Corki up top. So it'll be Graves and Janna versus that comp on the bottom, with the Gangplank going top. Now this is a little different. You don't normally see Gangplanks with a flash and ignite, but in this particular case, I guess he's just going to go for that aggression. He wants to really get those kills up top lane. And I imagine in the, since this was draft mode picks, he probably saw, okay, so I'm going to be going a bit against a Corki. I have to be able to have that extra damage in case Corki decides to engage on me. I'm going to jump onto him, as much damage as possible, and throw down that ignite and try and pick up an early kill. So we'll see if that's the strategy he decides to go for or not. But for the most part, I want to let you guys know that I am going to be doing this commentary from the perspective of Big Fat LP for the most part. So I'm going to try and watch him as much as I can and see how he plays. Malzahar is not one of those champions that we really see at all anymore, and he used to be played a lot. In fact, there was a couple of tournaments, and I remember specifically Reginald from Team Solo Mid. He really favored Malzahar a lot, as his team was really good about following him around, and he would jump in, get an engage onto someone, just completely take that person out of the fight, and they would end up winning that 5v4 situation once it was just down to those few champions left. Another cool thing about Malzahar is he is one of the only AP champions that can do massive amount of damage to very tanky champions. He places down his little pull, the null zone, and it does a percentage of their health and damage. So without any ability power at all, you'll notice it level 1, it damages enemies for 4% each second up to 5 seconds. So already at level 1, it's a pretty big amount of damage if someone stays in that null zone for the full 5-second duration. Now, one once you get a lot of ability power, you can literally take someone down. But I think it can get up to like 70% or some crazy number like that. You know, before magic resists are calculated. So he's able to do so much damage once he gets ahead. I'm just curious to see how Big Fat LP plays him here in this game. All right, now once again, I'm going to remind you, for any of you guys that are watching this and you're not familiar with the way LoL replay works, it's a little bit buggy, and that if you try and watch another lane that is not the particular champion that you're watching, or that's sent in the replay. So in this particular case, Bigfatjiji sent me this replay, and so if I try and watch another lane that he's not a part of, it won't show the health bars. So you notice I mouse over here, it doesn't show his health bars. So just so you know, it's not going to show him that. Also, notice how he kind of walks through the trees. That's because he's not watching that location. Everything should look fine as long as we're looking at the spot that he has actually been watching in the game. And this is just until we get an official replay system from Riot. But this is, it works out pretty well as long as I do these commentaries that are focused on this one person. And that's also why I like to do this, so you guys can get more of an idea of how a particular player plays a champion. So, that's kind of like how I like to do it. Now, Riot is developing a replay system right now. It should be out sometime this year, hopefully soon, which is going to be really exciting. They've already got their spectator mode set up, and they've done a lot of improvements to that, and it looks really good. I really like the things that they've done with that so far for tournaments. I just can't wait for official replay system to come out, as that's just going to make things so much easier for the casting community in League of Legends. And I think that's one reason we haven't seen a lot of new casters really emerge yet, is it's been difficult for them to get those replays and to do quality casts on the games. But hopefully we should start seeing more and more of people like me pop up on, you know, Owned and Twitch and all of the streaming sites and YouTube and stuff like that. And I'm really excited for that. But anyways, that was just in a little aside as I'm waiting for the minions to spawn here. We may see everyone kind of bug out just a little bit until the enemy teams are seen. The newest version of the game kind of messed with the logic a bit, in that for some reason the champions, they seem to walk around weird until you see everybody in the map. But it looks like so far everything seems okay. So here we go. Lane is going to start pretty standard. He did a nice little pull for their Trundle. Trundle picking up that blue, and most likely will give the next one to Malzahar once it does spawn in the next 5 minutes. Now the thing about Malzahar is that he's one of those champions that will push the lane extremely hard. The way he works, if you haven't actually seen him a lot, which again, a lot of people haven't seen him lately, or at least I haven't seen him in forever. The way he works is he'll place down a Malefic Visions, which is a dot on an enemy, on the creep, and actually I already have a first blood. Nice little level 2 gank there from Bruce Lee. But anyways, he places down that Malefic Visions, and if it kills a champion or a creep, it'll actually automatically bounce to the closest target. So he's able to place it down. You notice that once he killed that creep, it bounced to the next one. And once he gets enough damage and levels that up all the way, he should be able to completely clear a wave without really even being anywhere near the creep wave. So he can place down the Malefic Visions, do a couple of auto attacks onto a creep, and then just back off, and he's really safe to push the lane. And that's one thing that makes Malzahar extremely powerful, is that he's very safe at just pushing to the tower. 2-8 down on bottom, actually doing a really good job, picks up a kill onto a really aggressive Graves, and that's going to be difficult for them. And some counter jungling coming in here from Bruce Lee as he does catch the Lee Sin. Doesn't look like he is going to be powerful enough to fight off Lee. If Lee gets a land onto a skill shot here, he could possibly take him out. And yes, he does take him down as Bruce goes. Big Fat LP wants to stand on the other side, seeing if he can throw down some spells, but really all he's going to do is just hit off a silence and go back to the lane. So unfortunately, as Bruce Lee does get the kill, there's already a 2-kill advantage for purple team here. So he's just going to head back to the lane, continue farming. He hasn't had to use any health potions yet. And at the same time, it doesn't look like he's being very aggressive onto the Cassiopeia, and he doesn't really need to be. As the thing about Malzahar is he just wants to continue pushing the lane to the tower, and I think that the goal of Malzahar is to just force your lane opponent to actually lose in to creep score to you just by pushing and forcing their tower to pick up most of the kills. And you'll notice that the Cassiopeia is actually doing a very good job. What she's doing is she's walking out, trying to zone him as much as possible by watching for when he's going to walk up and push that Malefic Visions on a creep. And when he does that, she also places down her poison, and that's exactly what you saw there. He went to put a Malefic Visions and was punished by a poison and 2 Twin Fangs. And that's how you play Cassiopeia. If you're kind of new to her, just try and watch your opponent, watch for when they're going to go and place down a spell or auto attack a minion for the last hit, and that's when you know you can run in there for your damage on them. Meanwhile, while that was happening, it looks like Twitch was actually caught roaming around by Gangplank, or possibly for the gank up top somewhere. I just saw on the screen there that he had picked up that kill, so that's going to even up the kill score for the game so far. And right now we're looking at Cassiopeia is actually beating Malzahar quite well in the lane. He did push to the tower, but it allowed her to somewhat zone him out there. And I think that he should be fine as the game gets a little bit further. Once he gets a little bit more damage and levels that Malefic Visions up, it's a lot easier to do things in the lane there. And he's already getting very aggressive, putting down his Ignite. He does miss the Call of the Void, though, and does not get the silence off on her. So he does take a little bit of damage down in return. So he wasn't able to do full amount, but I think he's actually come out ahead. He does have his health potions ready to go, as well as the Doran's ring. So that is one of the reasons he decided to get aggressive there. Once you come back into the lane with extra items on your opponent, you usually know that it's easy for you to get aggressive on them if you're a fairly, if it's a fairly even matchup. And in this case, he knows that, okay, I can go blow all of my spells onto Cassiopeia, and most likely she won't be able to retaliate with the same amount of damage as me if I do that first. Now, once she hits level 6, of course, it's going to be whoever lands their ultimate first, as he'll be able to do Nethergrass, which completely stuns her for 2.5 seconds, and at the same time, she's got her ultimate, which can stun him for, I think, maybe it's 2 seconds, as long as he's facing her. So we'll see who wins that type of exchange. It's gonna be one of those, like, okay, who hits the button first type of situations. What I imagine he's going to do is try and land a Call of the Void, and then he's going to run in with a Malefic, an Null Zone, and Nethergrass combo. And that's generally what you do on a Malzahar. In these situations, you try and poke your enemy champion down by using your Malefic Visions. What you'll do is you'll place it down and you hope that it'll bounce to them whenever it kills a creep while you're in a safe situation. And there we go. He turned his back, not getting stunned. Will get slowed a little bit, but that is a big amount of damage, and he's just going to get zoned out from coming back into the lane now, as she will be able to continue throwing out poison on there, and he's going to have to end up going the long way around, possibly missing just 1 or 2 creep score here. But she wants to come in, get a kill here. Luckily, in his favor, Bluesley is there to kind of zone her out in the back there. But at top lane, there is another kill as Lee Sin comes in for the gank up there, and Twitch does die once again to that. I think he was roaming up there top lane trying to make a kill happen and ended up actually dying. So that's a gameplay picking up the kill, keeping it even, 4 kills on each team. So far, let's see, 38 to 48, falling behind by 10 CS to this Cassiopeia. Again, I think Cassiopeia is probably one of, if not the best AP carries in the game. She has a very safe farm and is very good at zoning people out at the same time. Once he picks up this blue, though, it's going to be a lot easier for him, I believe, to land out spells in the game. 2-8 picking up another kill onto the bottom lane there. Looks like a fairly even exchange, except for the fact that 2-8 actually picked up 2. Now 2-1 in the lane. And here we go, Big Fat LP now with a level 4 Malefic Visions. Once he hits 9, that'll be at the max rank. And he should be able to push those waves down with just, I think if he gets another Doran's ring, he should be able to pick it up by auto-attacking the front waves 1 or 2 times, and the Malefic Vision should be able to automatically kill the back wave without him doing any work. Oh no, he will get engaged here and have to flash out. If that Cassiopeia had jumped in there, she probably would have been able to finish him off, as that Twitch was there ready to make something happen. And that's the scary thing about stealth champions, is they can just pop up at any time without you really knowing about it. And now he's going to have to be really careful and safe and go ahead and teleport out. If he stayed in the lane, he could easily be bursted down from full health from Cassiopeia by her simply just using her ultimate and 2 Twin Fangs. Alright, so now we're just waiting on him to head back, but it looks like another gank is going in up top, but Lee Sin not in position to actually finish it off. Wow, what a great play there by the Lee Sin. He actually uses his shield to jump to his ally and then lands his, oh my goodness, oh that was so good. So he lands his Q onto Gangplank, able to finish him off with a large amount of damage. Tues getting another kill on the bottom, actually a double kill. Tues gonna get very strong here, and you don't want to feed a Corki because Corki is one of those champions that will carry so hard in the middle game, and if he gets fed enough, will become a late game powerhouse. So mid game he's more of a caster, and then late game he just auto attacks like a beast. So I think that they're gonna have a big problem with Tues with the rate he's going right now. The other thing that I thought was interesting is that that he's actually on bottom. This whole time in the very beginning, I thought he was going to be top. But here you go, nice little gank coming in here on the top as Gangplank actually picks up the kill with his ultimate. You know, as Bruce Lee was waiting in the bush that whole time, and Twitch had no idea, I suppose, that he was there. I feel like he should have kind of gone stealth and checked those bushes out before he ran into the lane to start farming. But either way, that was just kind of his bad there, and ended up costing him. Now it's going to put them a little bit closer there in kills. Still, the game is very even. I don't know if anyone's picked up the dragon yet. I haven't really been watching that area, but it looks like, yeah, okay, so the dragon is still up. It's only 10 minutes, but about this time, you'll see people trying to fight for control of that dragon. And here we go. Now both of the middle laners has that blue buff, and so he's going to be able to easily push it down. But the same thing happens for Cassiopeia. Around this time, she can easily just place down her AoE there, as well as put down a poison on the back wave, takes them down completely, and so she has easy time farming in the lane. This is going to be basically a farm fest for Cassiopeia, as there's not much he can do. He's going to have to kind of get the hopes that he can jump in there and get a stun off onto her, as well as the full combo of Null Zone and Malefic Vision. That's his only chance to really kill her. He's going to have to land that stun though, or sorry, that silence before he does that though, because if he tries to get in range of all of his spells, she's simply going to use her ultimate, stun him, and take him out extremely fast. Now, if he does get the assistance of Bruce Lee here coming in from the jungle, he could potentially make a play. But nice little ward placement there does detect Lee Sin come in, so he won't have a chance to get ganked by that, as he will run back, and a little bit of counterplay by Bruce Lee. I don't think Bruce Lee actually wants to engage. He's just showing his face to let him know that, hey, I'm here. Don't engage on this. Just run back to your lane. And that's all he really wanted to do, was say, hey, get out of here. So it looks like Cassiopeia has her blue buff for a little bit longer than Big Fat will, as he did pick his up first. Now going down to the bottom lane, it looks like Lee Sin wants to make a gank happen. I imagine he would probably stand in this area or come around for a bush gank, but right now that Graves is pushing very heavily to the tower, so he won't be able to do a bush gank, especially with a Trundle in that area. He'll definitely find him coming around the opposite side. Alrighty, so far this game has been really close up to this point, and I think it's going to come down to a couple of team fights, possibly a dragon engage, or if it goes late enough, it could come down to, oh, really bad play by Cassiopeia. She goes in for a couple of kills onto the race, and will end up getting taken down now by the Gangplank ultimate. Very well played by Big Fat LP. This is the area, some champions you have to be extremely careful against. Coming back to your lane after picking up race, or coming back in from the jungle. This is a very bad spot for people to come back in, and that's what you just saw as Big Fat LP was easily able to zone her out there and pick up that kill, placing her in just the worst situation possible. Now at the same time, Graves did pick up another kill down onto the bottom, so he is doing actually not too bad. He actually takes out Tues and also the Sona, so let's take a look at the score. He's already got 4 kills, matched up evenly with Corki, so although Corki was doing really well in the early game, it seems that he's able to keep his kills up in line with him, and as far as farm is concerned, he's completely matched up on that as well. So so we thought Corki was getting a little bit strong, but Graves said, no sir, I'm going to be just as matched with you and make sure that you don't carry as much as I do. And that's exactly what you have to do. Make those plays and at least stay even with your lane opponent. You can't completely lose, especially to someone like Corki. So Gangplank telling everyone in chat that he's going to be going for the Infinity Edge this game, which just shows that he's going to be he's going to hit so hard. If he gets a crit off with his parlay, he's going to demolish somebody's HP, especially as soon as he gets that Infinity Edge. For that point in the game, in the mid-game area, he's going to be a very deadly force to deal with. Now, Big Fat LP will be picking up this blue buff, making him have an extremely easy time in the lane here against the Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia does have that Hextech revolver. It's going to give her an easier time of sustaining herself if she does take a little bit of poke, but it won't stop the fact that Malzahar has a whole lot of burst damage with his full combo, and Malzahar is just built around completely demolishing people. She is coming down here now to the bottom lane. Looks like Tues goes down once again, and Sona trying to stay in the lane and make something happen. And that little bit of a little bit of a dash wasn't enough to help him get away from the Lee Sin. He does get taken down there, and looks like a little bit of aggression here as the Cassiopeia picks up a free kill there onto the Janna. That's going to be, I think, her first kill. Yeah, it is going to be her first kill. Very much needed. And at the same time, though, her kill down there cost her the mid tower, so I don't know if it was necessarily worth it, but it will be if they can pick up this Trono here. Nice job from that Twitch. Came all the way from top lane to take that kill and possibly even this first dragon. But while they're doing that, they're going to be losing their top tower possibly, or even the middle lane here, as looks like Gangplank wants to make a play. He's going to be going for that red buff, completely stealing that from them. Malzahar doesn't look like he will be able to take that tower, as Tues is now back to defend that, and so yes, that will be a free dragon for purple team. So far, this game has been very, very close, but that dragon will now place them up by just a small margin. And let's see. Okay, well, they've got the tower, so until purple team gets a tower of their own, I'd say it's actually fairly even right now. So I believe the Malzahar is saving up for that needlessly large rod. You'll notice he just has over 1,600 at this point. Picked up 2 Dorans and went for the Sorcerer's Shoes for the magic penetration. Sword boots are really good on Malzahar, just for the reason alone that a lot of his abilities are that dot damage. So he wants to get as much penetration as possible so that his damage will actually go through to the fullest. And you're about to notice a gank coming in here. If he is able to catch somebody there with another grass, he will definitely take them out. He'll easily be able to pick up Spellsy here, putting her down in the null zone, and that's going to be a free, easy kill for him. There's no way she could have gotten out of that. And just keep in mind, the only way to counter a Malzahar ultimate is with an item called the Sash. So, well, I actually know what it's called. It's the... I always forget. I just call it the Sash, but it's let's find out. It's in Magic Resist, and yeah, Quicksilver Sash. So it's got an activatable component on it that's similar to Cleanse, but actually completely removes any kind of stun ability, including Malzahar and Warwick, as well as Skarner's, which are not considered stuns, but they're considered suppression. So the cleanse won't actually get yourself out of those spells particularly. Okay, so looking good so far, as Malzahar is now just trying his best to catch up to Cassiopeia. He's only down by about 30 score at the most, and that's not too bad considering that he really only had kind of like a little bit of a hard start in the early game. So he hasn't been falling down heavily from her, but that extra kill down on the bottom is going to help him even up on at least the kills. They're going to go ahead and check for the blue ward going down, so they will know when it is back. And another kill on the top lane by the Gangplank. Good job there, picking up that Twitch, as Twitch is just so squishy. There's no way he can handle a Gangplank who now has Infinity Edge. Like I said, going to be doing a lot of damage, and now Spellsy getting caught as well. Just putting himself in the worst possible position. There's no reason for him to have been there without that Tues. As you know, as a support by yourself, it's just not safe to be running around unless you know where everybody on the map is. Okay, looks like Bigfatjiji wants to come in here. He does have his ultimate ready to go. All he needs to do is landed. He's trying to play safe because he knows that Cassiopeia will want to stun him, and I think he's going to be able to easily get in here. There's the stun. Now that he knows that stun's in, he's going to flash in and go ahead and place down one little Malefic Visions. He doesn't even use his ultimate as he wants to save it for the next fight, and that's pretty smart because he knows, hey guys, I can probably try and steal this kill with my Nether Grass, but she's definitely going to die with or without my help there in that case. So I might as well save it, and it's probably going to benefit him here, right in this case here, as he's going to need to use it. Oh, but he does before it's even possible. That kick from Lee Sin was just way too strong, kicking him into the turret, putting him into a bad spot, and he got exhausted. So there was just nothing he could have done there. The rest of his teammates do get out alive, and that's going to be a nice little exchange there for Purple Team. However, right now they're a little bit behind on those kills, and the towers are just continuing to fall. Now with a 3-tower advantage, they're doing such a great job, and Purple's really going to have to start to pick it up if they want to keep themselves in this game. While they do have that tower, or sorry, that dragon advantage, 3 towers is a massive amount of both global gold and experience for the entire team. Alright, Malzahar almost on his way to that death cap. He just needs a couple more 100 gold and he will have that ready to go, which will significantly improve the amount of ability power that he has. Alright, so right now this tower is getting pretty low and it just might fall here. I think he's going to go ahead and pick up the, okay, so he picked up the blue buff and he's going to be back in the lane, continuing to farm as much as possible here. But he's going to have to be careful. This is one of those situations where if Cassiopeia feels like getting aggressive, she can kind of zone him into this little corner and completely demolish his HP, just like coming around this side as well. And that's something you always have to be careful of as an AP mid. Looks like Malzahar did see with his ward that the Lee Sin was coming around, so he's going to place down his Q for the poke. And that's generally the best way to poke with Malzahar. All of your other abilities have quite long ranges, so it's hard to get in there in range to actually make those happen. Okay, so right now, with all of the towers down, blue team has a very nice map advantage. Cassiopeia has a Will of the Ancients, so she will be very strong in fights as long as she's not stunned. The thing about Cassiopeia, she's got very consistent damage. As long as she has a target poisoned and hits them with her Twin Fang, the cooldown will be reduced to only 0.5, which allows her to just spam that spell out almost constantly as long as she just continues to hit her Q. And that's where it's really revolved around, is landing her poison right there. And she'll be able to continually place down that damage, which allows her in return to heal herself for a very significant amount. One build that I've seen some people do on Cassiopeia is they'll build that Will of the Ancients and then they'll actually build into a Spirit Visage. And if you're not familiar with Spirit Visage, it actually allows you to get an extra 15% extra healing done to yourself. So not only do you get the I think it's, what is it, 25% from your Will of the Ancients. Yeah, 25% from your Will of the Ancients, but then you get an extra 15% on top of that healing. So there's an ultimate going down onto from Gangplank, probably a little bit too far as it didn't put most of the damage onto them and they just ran off to the left. You should have placed it in this area here, but either way they did go ahead and pick up a kill. It's so far a 1-for-1 exchange, so not the best situation. They're gonna have to be careful here. 428, oh no, nice ultimate coming in from that Sona, gonna completely take out Malzahar, and now falls the Gangplank as well as Graves. That is gonna be completely demolished. That is an ace now for Purple Team, and that is really bad as they will be able to continue pushing that top lane. Twitch will probably take that tower. They're easily going to take this mid as it's very low, and this is just not good. They got in completely wrong situation. You don't want to be lined up for that Sona ultimate, and holy crap, that was just not a good play for them. Right now, Gangplank is very squishy. He's one of those champions that can do just very gigantic amounts of damage if he builds with this Infinity Edge, but unfortunately he's just not very tanky at this point. So he will be building into that Trinity. It'll give him a little bit of survivability, but mostly what he's trying to do is get those big, gigantic parlay hits. You get an extra 100 and I think 20% damage, correct me if I'm wrong, from the Trinity proc once it is built up on your next attack. So since parlay actually applies on-hit effects, you will be able to do an extra 120% of your base attack damage on top of that Q. Plus, if he crits, then it's going to do that 250% crit from the Infinity Edge. And so that's just one of the reasons that Parlay does so much damage on a correctly built pirate anyways. Not only that, but if pirate gets into that melee range, his auto attack is actually very strong. One problem that I see with some pirates is they try and stay way too far in the back and just shoot out parlays. You have to know when you're playing Gangplank when to go in and just sit there and auto attack people. I think personally, in my opinion, Gangplank is actually one of the strongest champions in the game right now. I feel that his ultimate probably is one of the biggest game changers. Not only can it do like around 1,000-ish damage to a single target in a gigantic AoE anywhere on the map instantly, it also slows them down for a very significant amount of time. And it also creates this kind of like mental defect for the enemy team where they see that ultimate and they decide, okay, we're just not going to engage or try and do any damage at all. They're just going to try and avoid that pirate ultimate, and it's a very, very large AoE. So right now I feel that his ultimate is just way too strong, combined with all of the other stuff that he can already do. I think as a champion, Gangplank, while strong without his ultimate, he's not necessarily overpowered, but when you put that ultimate down in the right situation, it can just change games so drastically. But anyways, that's my spiel about that. Not everyone agrees with me, but that's just my personal opinion on how I feel Gangplank is in the current game and the meta right now. So anyways, right now everybody is getting pushed back quite bad, and this is in large part due to that last fight there at the enemy blue area. And now they got a Baron. Looks like they picked up, I don't know who picked up Baron there for them. Did I just completely miss that, or maybe I just completely missed that there? But now Bigfatjiji is going to completely fall here, and this is looking bad. I think this could possibly be the end of the game if they get aced here one more time. Now with that Baron buff down, they'll potentially, man, Bruce Lee just almost lived there, but that 2-8 had one last auto attack ready to go for him. And no, sir, you will not survive. Down goes the tower, and they will be picking up this inhibitor. And I don't know, this is just looking really bad now for blue. After having that Baron buff and those several kill advantages, they're just getting really, really strong now. Let's take a look here. 10 kills for Corki and 7-0 for Lee Sin. Right now, these guys are so beyond fed that it's just going to be really hard to deal with. Now, I guess one saving grace is if they kill those two guys, they're going to get 2 500 gold killing streaks. That could help them get back in the game, but they're going to have to be really careful about it. Now, Graves going to have to be careful. Actually, all three of them going to have to be careful. If she decides to use her ultimate here, she could just completely stun them, but maybe her ultimate's actually not up. So, no, she actually falls, and Graves will actually take that kill. She didn't even have blue. It was given to that gameplay. Oh, nice job! That Jen ultimate was so clutch as it saved him just barely from that Twitch. And now Twitch will fall. Actually, Twitch picks up a kill onto Janna. So that was a good kill for him. But overall, an even better save on her part, pushing him away and allowing Graves to jump over the wall. Okay, so far this game has been so crazy. And after that fight there, I could say that blue team has a chance to make a play and possibly come back. They're gonna have to definitely play safe and not get caught into a bad situation where they get stuck into some ultimates and that sort of thing. So as you can tell, everybody just gonna hang out on the bottom lane, trying to push it out and pressure as much as possible. Unfortunately, with their inhibitor down, all of the enemy creeps are going to gain extra HP. So you'll notice the creeps have 460 health, whereas all of the blue creeps have 415 health. And main thing that means is that the lanes will always naturally push on their own without the assistance of purple team, not only to the mat, but obviously the super creeps are going to be coming in as well, which is going to make the middle lane push even harder. So Just something to keep in mind for those newer players of you that that didn't know that. It actually took me, I didn't know that until several months into playing the game, that the creeps actually gain health. I just never clicked on them and realized that. So pretty little fun fact there. So this is interesting. Malzahar is actually picking up a Hex Tech revolver, going to be building himself his own Will of the Ancients in an attempt to just keep himself healed up during the duration of his ultimate. I imagine what he wants to do is place down his full combination on somebody in the Nether Grasp and just rely on that constant DPS to keep his health up for that full duration while everyone's trying to just kick him down and hurt him. So one thing I'd say that Lee Sin can do in these fights to really shut down Malzahar is save his ultimate for when... Excuse me, I had to yawn there for a second from all that talking, but for when Malzahar uses his ultimate, and if Lee Sin uses his kick, he can kick him out of his ultimate, and that's a pretty good way to shut that down. I think that's another reason why Malzahar's not necessarily played or picked as much right now as far as his utility in fights. He it really just takes a stun of some sort, or you know, some kind of knock-up to prevent his Nether Grasp from doing its full effect. And the fact that you also stun yourself when you do that Nether Grasp, that's also, excuse me, that's also kind of a problem with that ability, in my personal opinion. I don't like it that much. Oh wow, looks like Lee Sin going in very aggressive here, not really doing that much damage, but taking more in return. So not the best move on his part. Everybody on the game here is really on the ball, trying to do their best to make something happen. You notice that the Graves already double potted. He has a feeling that the game could be coming to a close very soon, so he has to make good use of those elixirs. Nice little Nether Grasp is going to catch Cassiopeia on her own. Bad play. I don't know what she was doing all by herself there, but that is going to allow them to potentially just, you know, push these lanes back up, get their inhibitor to respawn, and maybe even push back out for the next Baron, or possibly pick up another team fight. So there's the ping going down onto the Baron. They know that that's going to be up very soon. So Trundle's going to come in here with his Wriggles Lantern, place that down so that they'll have the vision that they need, and they could actually start on this very soon with that amount of damage that they have. They have the potential of picking that up quite quickly. They know that the Twitch is going down to the bottom area, and so with Twitch out of the picture, they're going to have a very easy time picking this up. And there goes the stun from Sona. Will it be enough? Bruce Lee is going to go down to 2-8, and it's going to be up to Graves now to try and pick off this Lee Sin on his own. And yes, he will have enough damage with the help of the with the pirate, and that was just way too much for them to handle on their own without the Twitch there. This is going to be a free Baron, only losing their Trundle, and I think this could be the turnaround that blue team needs in order to win the game. They're all going to back out and try and stop this Twitch. Will he be able to take out the tower? He will. I'm not sure if the inhibitor will fall, as Malzahar is already up there and ready to go. So he's going to just stealth his way out of there and make it out safely. But they do have that tower. Unfortunately for them, though, they don't have the inhibitors that they want. Oh, he's actually coming in here. Really bad move on that Twitch's part, thinking he could somehow kill Malzahar. But with that spell vamp, you notice he actually healed himself back up to full health from the damage that Twitch had already done. And that was a very quick response from Bigfatjiji. A really bad play by the Twitch. I just don't know what he was thinking there. I feel like that Twitch just kind of threw the game there in a sense. Like he just gave up and said, I'm just going to be greedy and go for a kill here. Just not the best play overall. So forgive me if I have to take a little bit of a pause here between the action from the casting. But yeah, we do have a little bit of engage on to Bruce Lee. Tues is just doing so much work to him in all of these fights. I feel bad for the guy, as he just runs in there, and normally as you know, as Trundle, you want to be really tanky. However, he just hasn't been able to handle all of the damage from Corki. One thing to mention though, Corki has an ability, his machine gun will actually strip the armor off of anyone that it strikes. So he's kind of got like a built-in black cleaver going on him. So that's a big part of why he's able to completely demolish his HP like that. right? Right now they're just poking their best. They did actually pick up that Baron there. Unfortunately, purple team has that, so blue wasn't able to pick up the advantage that they needed from that Baron, and they're gonna easily take out this inhibitor. So let's see if they have the opportunity to pick up the bottom one as well. Everyone on blue is just gonna have to back out. I don't know if they have the resources to stop this. I mean, they're all there with Tues and Cassiopeia. Correct people have the Baron buff, and there's just not a lot that they can do about it at this point, as the poke from them is so strong. If they try and run up and engage just like this, I can see Cassiopeia placing down her ultimate and making something happen. But oh my gosh, that Sona gets taken down so low, got crit by Gangplank. He does pick up the kill there, and that was a great engage with the ultimate. Twitch comes in with a lot of damage, finally picking up the GP, as he's just not tanky enough to handle it. Malzahar takes out Twitch there in the end, as he is all by himself there. And that's just going to be a 3-for-2 exchange so far in the favor of blue. Not too shabby, if I don't say so myself. And I have to give it to Gangplank. That was a great use of his ultimate, knowing that it was time for his team to engage, since they did have purple on the run. Oh, this could be really bad for Cassiopeia, as there's a flash being used and another grasp. I think Cassiopeia just did not expect that amount of damage coming in. Erwin Booz just lives hardly with any HP at all. Luckily not losing that Oracles. That would have been a big hit for them, but that's going to help them out greatly. And I think right now at this point, even with 2 inhibitors down, I see the potential for blue team actually coming back from this and winning now at this point. And this just goes to show you why, while I still feel that Cassiopeia is probably like one of the best champions in the game, you have to play her correctly. She's not easy to play, and she's very susceptible to getting destroyed. And whoa, what was he thinking there? Lee Sin running in, trying to be brave all by himself, and these guys are just throwing away the game, getting caught one at a time. One after the other, and this is not how you win a game, guys. So take it for, you don't run in 1v3 versus some people that can destroy you instantly. And there's the Shirelius trying to make it a play onto the Corki, but he does have his Valkyrie to make it out safely. Okay, wow, Bruce Lee got extremely low. Once again, he's always the one who's getting taken down extremely low in these fights, but at the same time, he is kind of the one that wants to take all of these hits, as he is the tank of the team. Wow, the whole time that was happening, Twitch was able to take out, looks like something there. I guess he took out this mid chart here, and he's going to be going head-to-head against Gangplank. Not the best move, as Gangplank now has an Atma's, Trinity, and an Infinity Edge, so he's able to just completely demolish people in fights one-on-one. I don't really see Twitch ever being able to fight him after a certain point, to be honest. Not at least at full health. So at this point, like, I feel that that Cassiopeia did really good in the early game. She had a good job of poking and harassing, but in some of these team fights, she just hasn't been able to find the right positioning to do the damage that she wants to do in these fights. She just gets taken out very quickly, or either her or someone else on her team has been getting caught way too much, and it's just kind of throwing the game away. They had a really good lead. They picked up those 2 Barons in a row, and they just kept running in one at a time, getting real cocky, and now putting themselves in a really bad position. So Trundle now just doing a little bit of farm here and there. Nice ward placement is going to detect purple coming into their jungle. They're most likely taking their red at this point and just going to group up and look for the next engagement. And that is exactly what they need to do. They need to group up and not get caught. We've been seeing way too much solo play here. And while this is solo queue, this is still a team game. And if you want to win, you've got to play as a team. I see too many people trying to be heroes and run in and be Rambo and take everyone out on their own. And it's just not possible, especially in higher level games like this. I mean, I've done it in lower games, lower elo games, where I'll just completely get fed and run around the map killing everyone. But this is not Dota. You can't get completely fed as a carry and just 1v5 the team. You have to have the assistance of everyone else. And here is going to be an engage with the Shurelia's. Nice pillar from Toronto there, blocking out Cassiopeia, and that ultimate from Sona is only going to catch Bruce Lee. But here comes the Twitch trying to zone out as much as possible from that Graves. Bruce Lee now going to die once again, as he does in just about every single fight. So far, it is going in the favor of Purple Team, and now this Twitch, wow, look at that heal there. So much heal. He's already back to full health from all that. And it looks like a missed ultimate from Cassiopeia is going to put her in a bad situation, as Graves does pick up a kill there. Going to go down, though, now to the Corki, I believe. Yes, Corki picks up the kill on the Graves. And will they be able to turn it? Tower now doing a lot of damage to Corki. Tues is going to fall to the gangplank. Big damage coming in from Malzahar, as they're now turning it around once again. Now all three chasing in. This is a 3-for-2 exchange. And it actually very quickly turned in the favor of Blue. And I thought that was actually going to be the end for Blue Team here, as Purple was killing them off left and right, but too much tower diving action actually turned out not in their favor. They should have just slowly crept their way in here, picking up these towers and taking kills when it was possible. They got a little bit too cocky. They could have easily had this next inhibitor, but instead they ran with their tails between their legs there at the end. Right now, Malzahar has quite a bit of gold built up. We could see him going for a possibly a needlessly large rod, maybe going into a Zonya's hourglass, but I don't know quite yet if that's what his plan is. We'll have to wait and see when he goes back to build or to buy. But now with the Baron up, there is a ward, and does Sona have her ultimate? No, she actually gets caught in Nether Grasp. He's gonna pick her up. Now the Oracle's gone. Ultimate used as well, so she won't have that. It's gonna be a free Baron. Sona all by herself got caught, and I think this is the comeback that Blue Team needed in order to win the game. Lee Sin kicks over the wall to try and get the vision. I don't think he's going to be able to steal this. In fact, if he jumps over the wall for this and dies, that's going to be really bad, but he decides to play it safe and not make that mistake, and that's probably going to be in his best interest there. Tues with 12 kills, doing his best to carry this game, but right now their gangplank is so far ahead. I'm just telling you right now, gangplank is so scary, and this late in the game it just gets even worse. Not only does he have that Infinity Edge, which I mean he had that super early, probably at like 15 or so minutes, or maybe a little later, I'm not sure, but it has allowed him to now build tanky enough to where even without Infinity Edge, he would be somewhat of a problem. But just coupled with that tankiness, I mean, he's just a powerhouse. I feel like right now, Gangplank can literally run in there and almost take out 2 or 3 of them on his own. Now, Gangplank ultimate is going to go down, but none of the team is there to actually to make a play here. So unfortunately, with that down, they probably don't want to engage. They want to play it safe here and either wait for that Gangplank ultimate to come up or wait for somebody to get out of position and get caught. Corki's just running up top to push out and pressure that top lane. That's really all they can do right now, is hope to pressure all of these lanes with that inhibitor down until it comes back up, though. Blue Team is still kind of on the defensive. Once it does come back up, though, I think Purple Team's going to have to really make some magic happen in order to win one of these next team fights. Twitch is just way too squishy and not useful enough to really be a problematic champion against Blue Team, especially as the game gets farther and farther in. Oh no! Once again, someone gets caught here. Unfortunately, Malzahar does not get a chance to place down the rest of his abilities, so his ultimate just doesn't do enough damage to finish him off. He will pick up the blue, though. 1 minute left down on the cooldown. Should be up before their next fight. They don't have to worry about fighting for Baron. Right now, they're just playing it safe and trying their best to catch people out of position. Okay, so as you noticed, he actually did go for a Void Staff. I probably should have thought of that one as well, but that makes a lot of sense. Again, on Malzahar, you want to have as much magic penetration as possible so that your null zone can really get in there and do work. So right now, you notice that it's doing, let's see, it's doing 15% of their HP every second, up to 5 seconds. So again, that's 75% of their HP before magic resists are calculated. So if they just stand in the null zone alone, they're gonna be dropped significantly in their HP. So a null zone plus another grasp is gonna kill most of these champions on the enemy team, depending on what their magic resist situation is, which I'll tell you in just a second if I get a chance to click on them. Oh, we could have an engage here. I think Gameplay Ultimate will probably be up at this point, and they're gonna go ahead and take down this tower. They're gonna need to take it down before they start engaging on this fight. And there it goes, it does fall. Cassiopeia is really low, will be taken down to the scatter shot, and one last damage from Big Fat LP, and the inhibitor will fall. That's going to be well played right there, with Twitch falling to the game playing. And there you see GGWP going down, as they know that they've lost the game at this point. Late game, blue team was just way too strong with game playing, getting so fed, and I just think that Twitch wasn't able to contribute enough. They played way too silly this game. They got caught too many times. And even with Tues getting so far ahead and fed, it just wasn't enough to counter out how far ahead that Gangplank got. Overall, it was a great match, really fun to watch, and definitely so fun to shoutcast as there was so much action going back and forth. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please help me out by hitting that like button. And if you're watching on Twitch, definitely thanks for sticking around, and make sure you come back for the rest of my shows. I'm doing shows every Tuesday through Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, and I'm going to be doing shoutcasts of pro matches and things like that throughout the week. So definitely check back. It was a lot of fun for sure. So hang out for just a second, and I'll answer some questions in chat and comment and stuff like that.